Welcome to the Stash Cast, where innovation meets real estate. Let's dive in.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, man.
Great.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.
I'd love you to kind of give an introduction, but when I was doing the research on you, I was like, how does this guy sleep? So maybe we start with that.
Yeah, everything in life gets easier as you meet the right people, you evolve, you make a lot of learning experiences. I think I made every mistake you can think of. So when you don't keep repeating those mistakes, you surround yourself with the right people, great legal, accounting, compliance, regulatory, really good management team members. And again, at the end of the day, just the right people around you. You can get a lot done and not waste time on fixing problems or putting out fires or drama or noise or any type of toxic environments. There's none of that in my life. And if you think about any of your listeners' lives and you were to analyze that, a lot of people's times are spent on negative crap. So if you can get rid of all that as cleverly as you can, then you can really accomplish a lot with your day.
All right. So your name is Brian Esposito. For the folks at home that don't know you or haven't had a chance to look you up, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah. Again, Brian J. Esposito. I've been an entrepreneur for over 24 years. So as a teenager, I've always sat out into the world to create value, create opportunities, build things. So now my world consists of two different verticals. There's my private holdings, which is known as Esposito Intellectual Enterprises, and that now consists of over 115 different entities. And we proudly operate in over 25 different industries. During my entire journey, I've always been adapt or die. So it's very quick to jump on board with the future of digital assets and tokenization. So learning how to build those into my companies over the last 13 years. What's happening today is what I've been preaching about, again, over a decade ago. And the other vertical in my life is a public company I took over as CEO in August of 2023, known as Diamond Lake. The symbol's DLMI. And recreating an old General Electric type of structure conglomerate. So we have a parent umbrella company and all these different industry agnostic companies that we wish to either acquire, build, or grow. I've got an exceptional board and team of just icons of their industry. And we became the first public company that, again, built in tokenization and crypto into the business model, how we see it being adopted into all businesses across all different types of industries.
So I guess that's a good lead in. How do you envision, because crypto's been around for more than a few years. And I've run in my vertical in commercial real estate, I've run into a few folks that are trying to tokenize real estate holdings. And some I think are doing it all right. Some are selling a bill of goods and not backing it up. And so how do you envision that taking place?
So our model is another line item in the financial mechanism. It's you use debt, you sell equity or LPs in a real estate transaction, leveraging assets, cash flows, and oh yeah, by the way, tokenization. So our model is it's built into this formula of what is the best mathematics with all the different options for financing or liquidity out there. And commercial real estate, we want to lead the way on major problem. Brewing is $7 trillion of commercial real estate paper that's maturing soon, a hell of a lot worse than it was in 07 and 08. And nobody's really talking about that. And how do you provide liquidity to these building owners or landlords if the vacancy is not supporting the cost of the building or their mortgage? So we look at tokenization not as a one-off, like you're explaining it. I don't like these gimmicky one-offs. Somebody did a mansion in Miami. Somebody did a hotel in, I think it was Vail or Lake Tahoe. We want to create the program for commercial real estate, hotels and resorts, anywhere where there's a building that needs to be financed or recapitalized. And the traditional market is tough or going out to LPs trying to raise millions of dollars. We want to go to millions of people and raise millions of dollars. So we've co-invested into a licensed regulated exchange so we can bring our own offerings to the market legally and correctly. And we've got a really big audience of token and crypto lovers around the world that I believe will mature and vend away from these meme tokens or these bullshit crypto projects that are not really backed by anything, but they're backed by hype and excitement, much like the NFT market was. So as these people were smart enough to make some money in these hype machines, I believe they're going to still love crypto and tokenization, but they're going to look for more sophisticated assets to invest in that utilize the same technologies that were back in these other crypto projects. And that's where we want to play. But we want to do it across, we want to build the program for industry, not just for one-off transactions, because there's really no ongoing model to make money with those types of like gimmicky one-offs like you were mentioning.
But how do you then ensure, or maybe you don't, but I guess how will the exchange then regulate and ensure that the assets being offered are
Liquid.
liquid, credible, not just value add through Excel,
Yeah.
those sorts of things?
When you do it the way we do it, as security tokens or backed by real world assets, there is a complete prospectus and offering that's done on the asset, what it's worth, and then what the revenues that can come out of it. So there's a hell of a lot more sophistication going into the offering. Liquidity much different than traders. And I tend to lose people on this because everybody's just been programmed to trade, especially the investment bankers that we work with. But if your business model is strong, and let's just say we're going to do a hotel and we're going to finance the hotel with X percentage, we're going to tokenize it with the other X percentage, and we know what that building's going to spin off based upon the operator, the asset, the market. Like, it's pretty down to a science, bearing COVID or some sort of global shutdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if the cash flows in the business is strong, and that token has such a reward mechanism, whether it's a revenue share from the room rates, or the F&B in the building, or the retail, there's so many different ways you can do a token attached to a building or a hotel, for an example. So if anybody ever wants to leave that token or exit it, yes, you can put it on the exchange in a secondary market. If it's spinning off a dividend and paying that token holder monthly or quarterly, there's real value there. So someone's going to want that. But I look at it like, if someone's going to want it and somebody wants to sell it, I, as the issuer, I want that token back. I want it back in our treasury. So I look at liquidity and trading much different than if your cash flows are strong, your business is strong, and someone wants to exit the token that your principal offering put out. I believe the company should be the one buying them back and putting it back in their treasury. So that's where my mindset is. But also, when you have the exchange and you have liquidity, that's what people want. We're also packaging these things up for more sophisticated investors that are long-term holders. They want the yield or the juice that's coming off the investment. And we're packaging it to people that never had a chance to buy into these types of assets before. So there's a really big market for that and a big opportunity to create wealth for the 99% of the world who never had a chance to participate in those offerings. The other thing we're working on doing is working with S&P, Moody's, and Fitch on getting a credit rating off of the token offerings that we want to bring to market. So we're doing things the way that I believe they should be done, and really protecting the investor on our future offerings that we bring to market.
That makes sense, having a devil's advocate, but it does make sense having a theoretical independent third-party rating agency, but those same rating agencies were rating
Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac preferred shares back in the day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
or
The Stashcast is brought to you by Needle. What if you could use data and analytics to predict real estate transactions? With Needle, you can. Check it out at needle.us to learn more.
in the real estate world, the first thing an appraiser asks for is a copy of the contract so he can work backwards towards it, which is not a bad thing. Like, you want somebody who's going to help make the deal move forward. But the thing that's in my mind is, how do you prevent these issuers from just pumping and dumping? And the follow-up to that is, there was a flood of syndicators that came through in the multifamily space, and not all of them panned out. So is that just the market playing itself?
I believe so. I can't speak on other issuers. I can only speak on what we're doing. And we're going after AAA rated properties and classes that we know will hold their value. And also, with our reach and our business model and our board and team, the value that we can bring to that building. And if we're just talking about real estate, we want to do this in music and IP, TV, film, and media, and the casino industry, private aviation, medical industry. So our list is industry agnostic. But we do believe the commercial real estate play, and we have a partnership with Boxable, which is the modular home company, to develop affordable housing, Boxable villages around the country. Our mindset is build a really great asset-rich portfolio of real-world assets, whatever industry that they're in or whatever asset class that they're in, and then tokenize them so we can create new capital into those business opportunities to the millions of people around the world that would love to own a piece of a hotel in Miami, but they live in India, they live in Australia. They don't have access to those opportunities because in the past, a couple of guys got together as a GP. They called all their LP buddies that they did good on the previous LP with, and they funded the next building or the next acquisition.
The next opportunity.
Yeah. And then as long as that does well, they just roll it into the next one. So it's a good old boys network. Just like if you have a really great stock portfolio at Morgan Stanley or Goldman and they get an IP offering, the best accounts and the best traders get some of those shares. That's how the rich get richer. So we're looking at it much differently because we have, with our unique access, we've got a huge reach of crypto and token holders around the world that want to participate in really good investments, but they love the idea of it being a token. And then also the smart contracts and not having to chase for the distributions and having it all done automated. There's so much more efficiencies in that, and having these offerings be audited and fully audited financials. And as a public company, we're really hitting on the credibility and comfort to bring something to market that somebody just can't go off on their own and do it without all the work and experience and the access that we have. I believe we're a turnkey company to help bring liquidity. One of our other partners we're working with is a massive $150 billion commercial real estate portfolio around the world. And they actually have trapped LPs in some of their offerings and some of their buildings and assets around the world. And we want to be a solution for that. We want to show them, hey, all right, your GPLP model is temporarily messed up because cost of materials is too expensive, bank rate is too high. Utilize our reach and tokenization to free up some liquidity, get some of these trapped LPs out, and keep your machine moving and not have to be stuck and not be able to continue to either go into new construction or acquire new assets. You got to keep that machine moving, and we want to be able to provide a solution for these landlords and real estate developers or real estate portfolios, but also we want banks to be sharing us to their clients because the bank doesn't want that asset back ever. So we want to come in as a solution, as a friendly partner, because we have the experience and the reach to bring a solution to that type of situation.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Once you're in as an LP, you're in until the investment's done. That's something that's I had thought about. Well, how do you make a secondary market for LP shares? Until I guess tokenization and crypto came along, there really wasn't a way to be able to do it. That's interesting.
No, those are very difficult with regulation, and that's part of the subscription agreement, right? You're in until there's a liquidity moment, the building sells or it closes, and everybody gets paid out, and we move on to the next one.
Have you had any startups try and go for tokenization?
You mean as far as capital raises?
Yeah.
There are ones doing it. I guess in a way, we're doing it with some of our subsidiaries. Technically, all the ICOs, or whatever you want to call them, hopefully the legal ones, they're all startups that did a crypto offering to fund whatever they say their project is. They don't typically have the prospectus. Well, how we would do it if we were ever to do an initial offering on an exchange on a new project, that would technically be a startup, but there would be a complete management team there. There'd be a business model. There'd be what we expect the asset to be worth and what we would expect it to spin off, the token holders to be able to earn off of. But in theory, every token project should technically be a startup that went to the market to raise money. 99% of them just stole the money, whoever actually issued them. But the model's there, that's what they're doing. And they say they have a roadmap of what they anticipate doing. A lot of it was building bullshit metaverse experiences or whatever they came up with. A lot of them just took the money. And somehow they sleep at night. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it either. As you're speaking, the idea, the reason I started the podcast is I've got a startup. It's called Needle, and we're out there trying to predict commercial real estate transactions focused on multifamily, and we're anywhere from 20 to as high as 80% accurate, depending on the market. And what I found recently going through the capital raise is that to try and get a lead investor, we have a whole bunch of folks that want to be a secondary investor.
Yeah.
But to get a lead, nobody wants to take that plunge.
Have you talked to Fifth Wall, some really good real estate focused
We've reached out. We just haven't been able to make contact yet.
Yeah.
And so we're in the process of trying to get warm intros to them, even though we've gone through 1,200 VCs.
Yeah.
I think we had an initial list of 3,000, something like that.
It sounds like you have a great solution. Any fund that has a real estate portfolio or acquiring, they want to use a technology like that. That sounds like it's a no-brainer to further de-risk their capital deployment.
Yeah, it's just the traditional model of trying to get a VC to essentially stake their name on it, and then a bunch of follow-ins come. So I guess when you're tokenizing an opportunity, you're essentially saying we've done all the due diligence. Here it is.
When
Because
it's done the
that's,
right way. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Like any other offering or Reg A, Reg S, Reg D, it should be the same materials because you're going out to an investment community. But the investment community can be 100 million people around the world. Somebody could put 50 cents into it, right? There's no minimum.
right.
So that's where it gets really interesting on vast amount of potential capital. Like even Boxable did this. They broke all kinds of records with their crowdfunding. They raised over $200 million. All small retail investors through crowdfunding on places like WeFunder and Start Engine. So if you look at the globe, there's a hell of a lot more token and crypto enthusiasts in Asia, Europe, Southeast Asia that love that UAE's on fire with this, that look for these opportunities. So if it's done the correct way with the right tokenomics behind it and the right team and the right strategy, that's, to me, in this market, more worth your time than, because these VCs are robots, man. It's debilitating, right? When you talk to them, you're like, did you ever even laugh? Did you ever hear a joke? Go to a comedy show. Like, they're just robots. You have something great and you're probably pounding your head against the wall that it would fit perfectly.
100%.
Yeah, you feel it fit perfectly in their world. It'll save them tons of money and time. It'll de-risk their whatever.
The problem that we found in the pitching is that most people haven't, because the solution that we've created is very niche, right? Trying to go out and find deals before they hit the market, either as a broker or for an acquisition person. If you're doing it as a broker, you want to go out and represent a client. If you're doing it as an acquisition person, you want to be able to go out and get in front of it before it goes to a broker so that you don't have to compete in the best and final process. And nobody gets that. They haven't transacted in commercial real estate, and so they haven't lost a bid where there's 30 other offers there. And that's what we're saying is, okay, here are the assets that we think are most likely to trade.
Could you find ones before they go to auction?
Yeah, before they go to the market.
Any market. So it's either, what about off market?
That's the whole point, is to find deals in the off market so that you, as an acquisition person, you're in the driver's seat one-to-one with this property seller versus having a broker in between, and then you're at the mercy of your relationship with the broker and whether or not they're playing you. Because what happens, whether you like it or not, there may not actually be anybody else there at the table.
But it's the worst.
If there's a broker there, and I'm not saying I did this or we did this, but I'm not saying that we didn't do it. Wow, we've got another buyer there and we need a hard money deposit. If you put up 150,000 hard,
it's yours.
It's your guy, they're doing that, but we like you better.
You got to get people to transact. You have to eat, right? If they're not, right. And you also need to know if they're real sooner than later. So
100%.
Yeah. So there's good ethical reasons for doing that or not doing that, whatever.
Right. But yeah, it's, or as soon as you reach out, earlier in my career, like when you were trying to like co-op with deals, which we don't really do, never haven't done in a long time. Immediately as you reach out, the guys, yeah, here's the information, but oh, by the way, we have somebody who's going to make an offer on it, whatever. Okay, fine. So it's interesting.
I have some contacts I'll connect you with that I think would be interested in, from what I understand, what you're working on. And I love the name. I move the needle. I always say that when it comes to commercial real estate. So I love the name.
It's got a bunch of different connotations, finding a needle in a haystack, threading the needle, moving the needle, all sorts of things.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Much respect. That's well done.
Thank you. I am curious though, like you have 150 different, how do you keep it all straight? Do you have a massive team? What does that look like?
My inner circles, me and my dogs, and we've got great legal, great accounting, and really good management in all the companies. So people can do one thing and do it well. God bless them. But if there's no need for that one thing in the market or you're struggling, that's a crappy place to be, right? So my mind works so much better with more things. It's just the way my brain works. And I can connect dots very quickly. And the more that's there, the more diversification is there. And the whole ecosystem is just there to help everybody grow. It's not, oh, let's get one success and 99 failures and I can say we got a successful situation. That's not how I operate. I want them all to just be sustainable and opening up opportunities and sharing resources with each other. So it's just a really nice world of all these different interest around the country, around the world. And then what's really fun is I love helping startup founders. I'm a founder. I know what they go through. I know the pain points. I can be on the other side of the table and on their side of the table at the same time. So I have that really unique positioning. And because I know what they need and I don't have any ego, greed, stupidity, I can help them and not try to steal their company or their brain. I'm not a Shark Tank guy. I want to be in there. I want to help them, but I want my fair piece.
Sure.
But nothing crazy. So when it comes to a startup founder and you look at what I have, it's peanut butter and jelly. What can I drop you into to create instant value, tell a bigger story, make you look bigger than you actually are, and then become bigger than you said you were? Like, these are the things I love creating. It's all about momentum. Everything in life is about momentum. And like in your case with Needle, and I'm just giving a hypothetical, we look at my holdings, we put a press release and a partnership out with Needle and company XYZ. Then a week later, company ABC. Then you go all these idiots that are there. We don't want to be first money in. Then why do you want to be second money in? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
And then when you bring them the lead investor, then they have another excuse. That's the next set of pain points. So just get ready for that. But when you have momentum and you create this FOMO energy for potential investors or new partners or clients, or even to keep you excited, that's key. You need to stay positive and excited and full of great energy, because whoever you're talking to feeds off of that. If you talk to 1,300 VCs and you're just fried and you're done, you don't even want to say the name anymore. Not saying this is the case, but if you were to go to another opportunity, that opportunity can sense you're defeated and there's not going to be a transaction. They're not going to want to do it. So when you bring life back into companies that were either failing or fumbling or can't move to the next step, that's a great moment. I'm addicted to that. When I see the stakeholders get excited again, because I've been there, I'm going to be in the asshole. If a company's got a suite of advisors and they have all these points giving out to these advisors, but they're not doing anything, or even team members, they're not doing anything, but the CEO it's his uncle's friend, or it's their banker or accountant's cousin. It's just an awkward situation to be in. I'll come in and say, okay, you have 30 days to do something and bring this guy or girl some meat back to this company and help this company, or your equity's getting clawed back and you're getting nothing and you're getting off this deck and you have nothing to do with this company. So it's about bringing in the right energy, the right strength, and the right support, and giving companies some fuel to survive and then succeed.
Yeah, I love that. Because I had another founder on, and he's, you got to go out and you have to run a specific process. It gets to a point where it's like, why do I want to get on a call and give you an 8-minute pitch just so you can kick my teeth in?
Yeah.
That's not an exciting sort of thing.
I sat with a very big group. One of our board members is a rock star, one of the biggest hotel guys in the world. And he's, hey, go sit with this group. I help this guy get started. Whatever you need, I'm sure he'll help you. And to what you just said, and I knew not to go there because they're robots, but I went there and I sat there, I told him what we're doing. And that guy didn't care about the other guy. He has his position now. He's sitting pretty, doesn't need that other guy anymore. And the response, I was like, this is embarrassing. I thought I was going into
a friendly interaction.
Yeah. I said, wait a minute, so I had to stand up, like, I don't need you. I'm going to go across the street and get a nice lunch. I don't need to be here. Then the guy got a little frazzled. I said, I'm going to tell your friend how courteous you were to me today, and I appreciate your time. And I fucking left. But to some of the points you're saying, like, sometimes it's just not worth like, that world is very cookie cutter. And even if you have an in, it doesn't matter, because you're in real estate. It's like being a tenant in Greystar, or it's being a tenant in Regis. They don't give a shit about you. You are a number. So when you understand that, and my private company's motto is time is your most precious commodity. When you start to come to terms about, okay, that's not working. And we also internalize, is it me? When you know it's not you and your pitch is good, you know the need in the market because you built it because of your own experience. So you know there's a need.
Exactly. I was like, what if you could use data and analytics to predict real estate transactions? That would be great.
So you're good. It's not you. The interesting thing is, I would love to introduce you to JLL and Colliers and all these relationships that I have, but you're a competitor to them. right? The
Well, not
technology.
anymore, but yeah.
No, the technology is a competitor
I
to a broker.
guess. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So I'm not understanding it correctly. So I can't
It
make
could
it.
be, depending on who it's aimed at.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
So you were a broker, right? You were a commercial real estate broker. If you want to share the flag name, it's up to you.
I was at Cushman most recently. I was at Capstone. I was at SVN.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All great firms. So I would go back to all the people, and you were on the sell side, you were on the client side.
Yeah, multifamily investments.
I would go back to every client that you worked with and that you made money for and you transacted with, and you tell them, here's what I'm doing. I had such a great relationship with you. We made some money together. I sold your asset. Throw a few bucks into this. This is going to be something good. That's where I would go. I would go to your past and the relationships that you have. You can even go on the buy side and see if the buyer that bought that building or that property.
The buyer and the seller, yeah, because you have two parties to a transaction.
That's where I would spend my time. And these are people that understand real estate. And then say, obviously, you buy and sell buildings. And not only are you going to be an investor, I would love you to help me perfect this and be part of this, because this is a win for
me.
That's where I would spend my time. I would even go to the title company that you used. If there was a mortgage, anybody in that transaction, you built a relationship with.
Yeah.
And you can say, hey, remember in 2015, we sold 85 blah, blah, blah street?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm doing. Because of those transactions, there's a need for this. Throw some money into this.
And it's interesting because we do have solutions down our roadmap for each one of those participants in the transaction. So would you do it as a tokenization?
Maybe down the road. I would just do a traditional, I don't know what you're raising.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to these people. You already selling 20%?
Yeah, about.
Yeah, you have the Rolodex. There may be a day when you're raising 100 million where that's a different conversation, right? Then you're more in there. You have data, you have transactions, you have history, all the stuff they asked you for. But I feel like you have enough of you just need one guy, right? Because then you can go back to the other non-lead investors and say, hey, I got the lead investor, and see if they'll actually commit. So that's, again, how I would work with someone like you. If we work together, I would say, here's what we're going to do. Do the same thing for my people that I know, and let's raise you the $2 million that you need.
I like that.
Even the accounting firms, the lawyers, you have them. I believe you have the people that you transacted with in the past to help you.
Yeah, to be honest, for a while I was like timid to even bring it up, and I don't have a good reason why, but I was.
Well, it's just your first startup and venture, right?
Yeah.
You just need a little. Listen, someone writes you a check for $5,000, you're going to feel so confident. You just need that one believer, and then the flywheel starts, and then it just starts to snowball.
Yeah, I think that is a direction we're going to have to pivot back into. Instead of going to the corporate VC attorneys, it's just going back to our roots of, here are people that we've transacted with. And you could even go to people that you didn't end up getting the deal from, but that have institutional backing, and say, hey, either you just personally, or maybe let's have a larger conversation about how we can get you more deals.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking about going to the other brokers and offering them both a subscription and a small piece of ownership if they so choose.
Yeah. Is it built?
Yeah. The interface needs some improvement. Yeah.
Okay, it's just a little cosmetic, as long as the engine's built and all the back end. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why we have this.
Find the need, fill need. That's been my entire career. You did it. So now it's just getting the right people around you.
Yeah. Interesting.
Or even some of your, I don't know if you were close with any of your other broker friends under any of those commercial real estate companies, but reach out to them and say, hey, you guys want to be part of this?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just reach out to
everybody, anybody involved in that transaction. You guys transacted. That's key, right? You broke bread, you did the deal, and everybody walked away with something. So it's not like it's a cold pitch. It's an easier conversation too, because you're also talking to people that understand the industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I saw on your LinkedIn you were just at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes, sir. Brandon Fugel, one of my best friends, he's the owner of the ranch since 2016. Also the chairman of Colliers International in the Intermountain region of Utah. Awesome guy, my public company, DLMI, we have a great partnership with Brandon and working with what does the future of commercial real estate look like with tokenization. And then talking and working on some interesting things that have to do with what we could possibly bring value and new technologies to help them at the ranch to uncover whatever is going on there. So we had a great Saturday there. A longtime family friend is John Paul DeJoria, is the founder and CEO of Paul Mitchell, a hair care company, as well as Patron that he sold, a bunch of other things. He came out with us. Just hell of an experience, amazing history and property. And I believe Brandon has the right team there to properly learn and uncover what could possibly be happening there. He's very focused on collecting the data and not bringing anything there that shouldn't be there. Like he doesn't have any, but it's a top show on the History Channel, but he's never done it like a reality show. There's no unnecessary people going there. He's not trying to exploit it. So he's really doing it the right way. He's been financing the whole thing himself. He's the steward of that property. And I believe they will unlock something. I really do.
It's so fascinating. Like what is going on?
They got a million cameras and sensors and data collections. When something goes on, they're going to capture it and then try to figure out.
They're going to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, Brian. I really appreciate your thoughts and advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Honored to be here. Appreciate speaking with you today.
I guess if somebody's interested in getting in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out?
Same way you did. So Brian J. Esposito, LinkedIn, TikTok, X. It's hard for me not to say Twitter, X, and use Facebook. You won't find me there. Instagram, and the private holding company is EIE.ROCKS, so EIE.rocks, and then our public company is DiamondLakeMinerals.com, ticker DLMI. I appreciate all the times people reach out to me to speak or to ask a question. I admire that, and I'm humbled by that. So anybody wants to talk, just shoot me a note.
Awesome. Great. Again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, pal. Thanks a lot.
That's it for the Stash Cast. Subscribe, share, and stay ahead in commercial real estate and prop tech. See you next time.